Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Now this video is a bit stressful for me, not for you guys. I've become a bit of a victim of my own success with the tank behind me. Now, a couple of videos back, the last 2 or 3 videos have shown how amazing the dual trigon tank has started growing, the plants have started growing. So those of you that need a reminder, it's a bare bottom tank and we use terracotta pots and we plant with some fluval stratum. We had them in there for about 8 months. The growth wasn't great. And then one thing changed it, one thing only. And that one thing was API leaf zone. Now, I have got fluval aquascape 2.0 lights on there, no CO2, and just API leaf zone. We obviously use Chem Prime for water conditioner and water changes. We do regular water changes. And I hadn't really had to do that much trimming up until now. It was always a regular trimming, but in honesty, it was like once a month. I've had to trim this tank 3, 4, 5 times since the last few videos, and that's the problem I've now reached. The plants are growing that well, and my favourite plant of all, the tiger lotus bulb, the leaves hit the surface. I was super excited. Honestly, it was the best thing ever. I always wanted it to reach the surface, and they never managed it before. However, now they have reached the surface, we've got a real big problem. And I'm going to show you what that is. Okay, I flipped you around so you can have a little look. As you can see, the plants are growing amazingly everywhere. Now, we've got the, I believe it's the Rosifolia Rosanavig here, and we can just see that the top has started sprouting some new growth. So hopefully that one is going to do well. That's probably the one we've struggled with the most. Then we've got the Ludwigia mini super red here, and as you can see there's one there growing amazing. That's growing in the glass cups, and then we've got one a bit further back there, and as you can see that one's growing out of a terracotta pot just down there somewhere, just there, and that's growing amazing as well. As you can see, nice red leaves, no CO2 like I said, it's just the lighting. There's another one over here, that one's growing brilliantly. Now the Monte Carlo here is growing absolutely amazingly, and I'm super happy with that. In fact, I couldn't be happier. It's amazing. Now, the tiger lotus, as you can see, is here. It's got these leaves here, which are growing well, and then we've got these leaves at the top here and here. One up here and one just over there. Now, you'd think that wouldn't really be a problem, and I am genuinely super happy of how it's grown, and hopefully you guys will try some of the things we've said in the last videos, and it will help yours grow. But if you can see behind me, the tank's a lot darker, and that's not ideal for some of the newer plants that require higher light. We'll have a look at some of the dark areas now, and then we'll come up with a solution. As you can see, I think it's polysperma here. It's so dark up in this corner now. Again, this Ludwigia mini super red at the back here, it's just completely dark now, and it's having to grow out and up, and I don't really want that. Again, the same here. Now this crypt has started absolutely going crazy. It's growing really well, and that does have a leaf above it, but I think that one's going to be okay, so we'll potentially leave that one there. And then the rest, Anubias, the Madagascar lace leaf plant, another Anubias. Now this, I think it's called an Echinodorus. I'm not sure what type here. As you can see, it's growing massive. I don't really like that plant, and I may have to get rid of that at some point. And then we've got the Cecifolia at the back here, which again is growing crazy, which is good. We don't mind trimming that one, that was easy. So my main problem is, what do I do with the stems of the lotus bulb? Do I cut it, or do I just leave them how it is? Now I think I don't really have a choice. I'm going to have to cut some of the ones that are above the Ludwigia Super Mini Red. We'll try and leave at least 2 of the leaves on the top, because I really like the way it looks. The shrimp like it as well. We're also going to trim some of the Monte Carlo, and I'll show you why towards the end of the video why we're going to do that, but we are going to reuse it. And maybe trim some of the Mini Super Red as well, so we can get it to bush out a little bit more. Because you'll see on a couple of them, I'll show you in a second, where I've cut them, they've started branching out, just making it look a lot more bushy, we'll have a look at that quickly. So if we look at this one here, now we haven't trimmed this one at all. It was like just come straight down from the pot, and it's growing really well. If we can look and try and zoom into this one a little bit. Here, it's hard to see. Ah, here's a perfect example. So this one just here, can you see it? There, we've trimmed that, and as you can see, it's branching off in 2 other different ways. And it's doing that, and it looks a lot bushier. We've even got some, quite hard to see, coming out towards us there as well. So we're just going to give that a bit of a trim up, save some of the Monte Carlo for something, another project which we'll do later on in the video. And then, yeah, bit of a shame, but we're going to trim some of the lotus bulb leaves. See how that goes. Okay, so we're just going to use a nice trusty pair of curved end scissors for this, and let's see how it goes. Now this is the bit I don't really want to do, but I'm going to have to. So this one here, oh, such a shame, but needs must. I'll show you how long these are at the end. Now I'm hoping this doesn't do any harm to the plant, and the plant starts throwing up more leaves as well. Another big one there. Already looking much brighter, which is nice. This is a great example of what I was talking about though. You can see where you see on here, you can see this bit here where we trimmed it, and it's thrown out 2 extra ones there, 2 extra ones at the bottom, so it becomes much better for coverage in your aquariums. That's looking pretty good now. Now I want to get some of this Monte Carlo as well. This is for a project you've already seen, but hopefully it's going to improve it a little bit. So I don't know if you can see, but I'll point to it here. You can already see this leaf and this leaf are actually the bulb expanding. It did it before, but it died and then grew this massive one out of it. So I'm hoping that works somehow. I'm going to give this fern a little, not fern, sorry, moss a little trim. Hopefully we'll be able to catch all that with the net in a minute. Trying to avoid any shrimp that are grown in there. However, probably just made an absolute mess there. It's not too much of a problem because it will just start growing in other places and I'll just be able to pull it out, but more that I don't want it floating around the tank. Got a few shrimps in there, a couple of baby guppies, so you can see them on camera. And come out. Yep. Again, the Java moss has really taken off since we've started using the API leaf stone as well. So that's another good point. Most people don't have trouble growing Java moss. I do. Right, final bit of trimming on this polysperma. So we've given that an absolutely monumental cutback. Some of you might think I've gone too far. Maybe I have, we'll wait and see. But generally, every time I've ever done that, it's always sprung back to life, if not better. It goes bushier and gives you more coverage. When you get the stem plants growing to the top, the bottom sections tend to have no leaves on them. so it helps them bush out again. The mini super reds will hopefully grow bushier and redder. I'll show you what we've actually cut out of that, and you can have a look. I actually removed all of the lily leaves that have touched the surface to give more light, and hopefully, fingers crossed, some others go up there eventually. Okay, so this is what we've actually removed. We've moved all of this. There's absolutely tons there. That's the mosses. These were the lotus lily leaves. Look how long they were. Absolutely phenomenal. So pleased that we finally grew them. And then we've got the mini super red. Look how red they've gone. And again, that's not with any CO2 whatsoever. So that's really good. That's on Monte Carlo we're going to save. We're also going to save some of these for a project we're going to look at the end of the video. So let's just have a look at what this tank looks like now. So it's a little bit messy where we've pulled it all about a bit, but as you can see, so much more light. We've trimmed this polysperma back a lot. We've moved that mini super red further back, trimmed the Monte Carlo a little bit. The surface, as you can see, is a lot brighter. This sessifolia at the back we've trimmed. Look at those roots coming from that sessifolia down there. Absolutely crazy. So that's looking pretty decent. It looks a bit drastic now, but I reckon a couple of weeks' time that'll be back to normal. Obviously, and we trimmed the Java fern, which the shrimp don't seem to mind. Seem to be absolutely loving it. Okay, so that's that little bit done, trimmed. We've got the bits we need for the next project. So I'm going to gather them up, tidy up a little bit, and we'll head outside to the nano tank, and you'll see what we're going to do with the Monte Carlo and the bits of mini super red we kept. See you in a second. Okay, so it's actually been 24 hours since we did the trimming, and I unfortunately destroyed my lotus lily. Hopefully that will come back. We will see. So what we're going to do with the Monte Carlo and the Ludwigia mini super red, I kept them in that tank, the cuttings in that tank overnight, and we're going to try and make a small carpet. Well, eventually the Monte Carlo grows into a carpet in the small tank behind us, and we're going to try and put some more Ludwigia mini super red in this tank behind us to make it look a bit more bushy. So let's have a quick look at that. Okay, so here's a little look at the nano tank we've done. As you can see, the sessifolia is growing really well. You can see the mini super red we put there already growing above the rocks. The Anubias is doing well. The polysperma here and at the back, we're getting there. It's starting to cover the heater a little bit. But this little area here, and this area here, I think would look really cool. We could have some of this Monte Carlo cutting. I don't know how well it will spread. It'll take a while, I think. And then these mini super red cuttings as well. We're not going to use them all, but we're going to put some of them in here as well at the back. We might try a little clump just to the left here as well. So let's have a little look, see how we get on with that. Let's go. Okay, so here we go. Let's give it a try. Take that lid off. We're just going to use our curved tweezers here. Let's start with the hopefully easy bit, the Monte Carlo. Let's try put in that. Just hope it stays. It might be a bit fiddly because we've got roots on there. We might have to dig it in a bit, I don't know. Right, so that's turned out to be much more of a challenge than I thought it was going to be. So I've got a new plan. Right, this last one I'm having a bit of trouble, so you can see that I've elastic band it to a bit of rock. I'm going to wedge that behind there. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, no problem, we can take it out. With it being behind there, you can give it a little push into there. Hopefully it'll root itself. And it will look good when it's finished. Okay, so we've put those in. It was much trickier than I thought it was going to be fair. And I didn't enjoy it. But I'm hoping that's going to work. And we keep checking it. I'll post updates on social media, Instagram and Facebook. Join me on there if you haven't. We'll take a quick look at this in a second, see what it looks like now. I think it looks really good, and I'm really pleased the fact that it's quite low budget. All the things are in there I've had lying around. We bought a tank ages ago, so it's not really going to cost you much if you've got bits and bobs lying around. The plants are all trimmings from the trigon in the house. The good thing about that is that's grown extremely well, except for the lily now. Hopefully that will survive. I'm dreading to think if it dies, it's going to make me so sad. But we can keep topping up this tank until we get it right. I might need more substrate. I might need to change a few things. I don't know. But that is genuinely half the fun for me, experimenting, seeing how things turn out. So with that being said, if you could like this video, that'd be amazing. If you could subscribe, it'd be even more amazing, please. 98% of you aren't subscribed, and I need to get those subscribers. It does so much good for me and the channel. So please comment below. Let me know what you think of the tanks, good or bad. I don't mind. So I'm going to show you this and leave you with this, and then until the next one, take care.